There are some excited and worried people here. I'm talking about one particular one of our guests. Welcome, everybody. Episode 489 of SpeakuP Monday here, Tropical Nomad in the Garden. And what a wonderful show we have for you tonight. So as you probably know and may have seen it already, the I Am Creation Summit is an incredible event that is coming this way on 19, 20, 21 September at the Meru in Sanur. And look, we have a wonderful array from the organizers, speakers, and legends. So tonight we're going to get into that. For those of you just maybe tuning in, we're live on Instagram Live, Facebook Live, and YouTube Live, so feel free to choose any of those formats. So I'm going to have a quick intro for each of our guests to get us started. So as I mentioned, the I Am Creation Summit is the largest gathering in APAC for visionaries, entrepreneurs, and purpose-driven leaders. I Am Creation Summit features 33 world-class speakers at the Meru, Sanur, Bali, September 19 to 21. And we welcome 3 inspiring leaders shaping the future of conscious leadership, collaboration, and community. Now, each time I say her name, I get it not quite right, but it's spelled Alena, A-L-E-N-A, but pronounced Alona. Alena, the way she says it is so much better. A visionary entrepreneur, founder of I Am Creation, and transformational leader, curating immersive gatherings that align purpose, leadership, and soul. Next, sitting right next to me, our brother Nick, surname Santonastasso. Close, right? Nick, I'm going to get you your own surname in a second. Globally acclaimed speaker, author, and peak performance coach. Born with Hanhart syndrome, Nick embodies resilience and leadership, inspiring millions to unlock unstoppable strength, impact, and purpose. And then finally, penultimately, Kirsty, global speaker, visionary community host, and soulpreneur, weaving collaborations and creating transformative spaces for conscious leaders to expand impact worldwide. So 3 takeaways amongst many others that you're going to be receiving tonight. So number 1, the vision and intention. So why the I Am Creation Summit was born, carrying a global vision of conscious leadership and co-creation. Number 2, the power of one connection. So how one connection, one conversation, or one moment can open infinite possibilities and change everything. The third one, of course, dream big, play big, lead bold. Love that. Why this is a space for creators and leaders ready to step beyond limits and co-create the future together. So in case I forget, or maybe you don't know, my name is Robert Ian Bonnick, founder of SpeakuP Monday. I like how I've even got it written down for myself as well, just in case I forget. It happens, by the way. So for SpeakuP Monday, the founder, Indonesia's #1 entrepreneurship and social impact in-person and live stream talk show, approaching 500 episodes. This is episode number 489. My God, that's amazing. Voted #1 change maker in Bali, top 10 best motivational speaker in South Asia by CEO Insights Asia 2025, co-founder of PT Career Life Group, gateway to Indonesia for business, post-company setup, and through RIB and Associates, SpeakuP Monday, tourism architect. Our work has been recognized by the Ministry of Tourism and Creative Economy of Indonesia, Bali Tourism Bodies, Forbes Business Council, Founder Institute, and Startup Grind Bali. A round of applause for that, because my God, it took a while. So now, apart from having the opportunity to really kind of pronounce people's surnames here, which I completely ran away from, not sure if you got that. So Nick, let's start with you and your surname, which I actually know, but I want you to pronounce it for me. And look, what I would love to hear from you is that, you know, people, when we put this advertising out, mentioned that, hey, Nick, we've seen before with Tony Robbins, we've seen before with Joe Dispenza, some of these greats, right? you know, like, we would love to know what inspires Nick. You know, on a day-to-day basis, Nick has the condition that he has, but why is this guy so empowering? How would you answer that? But remember, first your surname for them, right?
Check.
Also for me, right? And then on to that question.
Check.
All right, Guzman, we're gonna just mic him up, please. Yeah.
Check.
Close. Keep on going.
Check. Or should I switch?
No, you're good.
Good?
There you go.
All right, good. Great. I'll give you 2 experiences that changed my life and why I'm so passionate about this work today. The first one was when I was born. My parents went in for a late ultrasound, and they sat them down and they pulled the baby up on the screen, and they said, "There's something really wrong with your baby." And they said, "Well, from the looks of it, it doesn't look like his limbs are being developed." They said, in specific, it looks like he's missing his legs, it looks like he's missing his arms, and they said his face is messed up. Did they lie about my face? Okay, I get it. I'm beautiful. It's fine.
Is this man handsome? Say yes.
Yes.
All right.
Is this man say yes?
Yes.
Oh, y'all are really making my head big here. But so they classified me in that moment with what they call Hanhart syndrome. Hanhart syndrome either leaves the babies with undeveloped limbs or undeveloped organs. At the time of my birth in 1996, I was the 12th baby in medical history that they've ever seen this happen to. And out of the 12, 8 of those babies passed away due to undeveloped organs. And so they looked at my parents and said, your baby boy has about a 30% chance to live. In that moment, my parents made a decision. And the decision was that we were going to go forth with the pregnancy and see what happens. And so that's my number one reason of why I'm still going, is because my parents didn't give up on me, so how could I give up on my parents? At 29 years old, I just retired both my parents this year. And so now, I appreciate that. And when I was born, my parents had no idea what I was going to do with life, how I was going to feed myself, dress myself, be independent. And my dad brought me into a private room when I was a baby, and he looked me in my eyes and said, I will be your arms and legs until the day that I die. Wow. And so when I retired them, I said, no, Pops, I'll be the arms and legs until you guys go. And so that's the main reason of why I'm still going and why I'm still pushing and serving and leading. And I'll give you one more very quick story, because I'm a storyteller, but one more quick one was, I think all of us can agree, there's a lot of times in business and entrepreneurship where we wanted to quit. True or false?
True.
Anyone today? Are you quitting right now? Okay, great.
An hour ago.
She's the founder of the event. I got nothing more to add, right?
So there's a lot of moments where we want to quit, and I believe that success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. Yeah. And so there was a moment in my life where I was about 21 years old and I wanted to quit, and I woke up one day and everybody was tagging me in a social media video. And I was like, was I naked? Like, what's going on here? No, I was kidding. And so I go online and I click on this video and I see this little boy. He's probably 3 years old, 4 years old. And he has no arms and no legs. And he's scooting across the ground, essentially taking his first steps. And as he's taking his first steps, he looks at his mother and goes, I'm walking just like Nick does.
Whoa.
And it broke me. And I realized that the mission wasn't just for Nick, it was for the other people that look like Nick, or the other people that have all their arms and all their legs that are still handicapped and crippled by their mind. That's why I keep going.
Oh, Mamma Mia. My brother. You know, but you ain't done yet. You ain't done yet. Like, so when we first met, it was a short. I think it was Alena over here said, "Look, Rob, you know, like after this event, look, we're gonna go meet Nick for a quick ice cream, right? Do you know a place?"
It was my cheat day.
I know, but it's okay, man. Hey, it was his cheat day. Okay, remember that. A quick ice cream. I was like, sure. We chose a place, Nalu, around the corner here in Canggu, and I was like, yeah, you know. And I rock up. 2 hours later, we're still there talking, and it's only just getting started. 2 hours later, and you know, just quick raise of hands. So, who here knows Tony Robbins? Just raise your hand. Right, great. And who here knows Joe Dispenza? Dr. Joe Dispenza. Wonderful. So one thing that stuck in my mind, right, and again, this is not about good, better, best, it's about different strokes for different folks, you know. So as you spent incredible time with both of them, right, so my question, which I'd love you to share with other people here, is, you know, we spoke about, you know, Tony as a push, and we spoke about Joe as an attract. but could you give that distinction of what comes in for you to everybody here, so they just have they have a moment?
For sure. I'll try to do it in the most simple form. Tony is the 3D master, in the sense that Tony teaches you how to break through, push down the door, step up, go to the next level, regulate your emotions, change the meaning, change your language, change your life. And so I feel it totally rocked my world, because we only know what we know, and we only know what we're exposed to. And so the first time that I was exposed to Tony, it rocked my world, changed my life forever. I spent many years with him afterwards. And then I feel like the next evolution is going towards Joe Dispenza, which I didn't know who Joe Dispenza was, and I didn't know what meditation was. And so I went to a 7-day retreat, not knowing anything about meditation. I didn't realize we were going to meditate for 50 hours. And so I didn't know what I was getting myself into.
Didn't read the small print. Sorry, brother.
And so over 7 days, we meditated for 50 hours. And before that retreat, I had no idea what meditation was. I thought you just close your eyes and, chill out. And there was a few things. And by the way, I love both of these men. But I saw Joe Dispenza facilitate transformation, never leaving his sofa with a cup of tea. And I was blown away by it, because Tony's more of a jump up and down, make your move, yell, scream, get in state. And so I saw two masters transforming, facilitating transformation in two different ways. And after the 7 days, I looked at my business partner. I said, do you realize how far we got pushing through the 3D world? Imagine if we could just pull everything towards us. And so the best way that I could describe it is, Tony is the foundation of breaking through any limitation. Joe is the foundation of going into the quantum and getting unlimited everything and bringing it into your world. But it takes a level of surrender and a whole lot of practice. And so I can't really describe what Joe does. I think he's a magician. My legs still haven't grown back yet, but we'll talk about that later. But I believe that one is pushing through the 3D world and the other one is operating in the 5D. And I think you need both. And so I think that's a great evolution for people.
Yeah, I love that, brother. And look, one question that you've avoided, I really don't understand why, the pronunciation of your surname. You were waiting for it, to be honest. I know you're waiting.
Santonastasso. You got me questioning my own name.
It's the old trick, oldest trick in the book.
My name is Nick Santonastasso.
Santonastasso.
Yeah.
Bravo. Grazie.
Thank you, because I needed that too. It's amazing when you're explaining the event to people and you don't even know the name of your co-founder, because she changes it every day depending on who she speaks to. So yeah, thank you, Robert, for bringing that up.
Countrywoman Kirsty, you're very welcome. English, if you didn't guess which country. So I know you did, but some were like, which country? So for you, my darling, right? So again, you've been magnetized to this incredible event. I remember a story that you, after doing this women's retreat, where I met all of you the first time again after many years, you had a wonderful story of how you actually met Alena. So I think that's a good place to start. Yeah.
So Robert wasn't on the women's retreat with us, just in case anyone was wondering there, different version of him.
In a parallel universe.
So
at the end of the retreat, just so you know, at the end of the retreat was over, okay? Thank you.
So Alena, I got the pleasure of winning her retreat last year. So I'd seen, and I was in Panama at the time, and I was working on a project called The Conscious Island, which is going to be a development based in Panama. And I'd seen the advert for her retreat, and still to this day we have no idea how I'd seen that advert, because they never advertised in Panama. So yeah, it was very random synchronicity. And I applied, and she didn't message me for a couple of days. And that same day, I'd applied to Mind Valley, and I'd forked out a couple of grand on one of Mind Valley's money manifestation courses. And then I just get this strong Eastern European accent in my WhatsApp, like, you need to do this retreat. This retreat's going to be transformational for you, like hammering me on my WhatsApp. I was like, who is this woman? Why is she so constant on my WhatsApp? And I kind of the timing wasn't working. Things weren't working out. And then But I always had this thing last year that from January that I knew I needed to be in Bali by November, and I had no idea why. And then it was about the 27th or 28th of October, and I rang one of my best friends who's very close to me, and just said, I think my intuition was wrong. Like, Bali's not happening. I was booking a flight, it was cancelling. Like, I booked a flight, I couldn't get on it, my computer was crashing, and I was like, I don't know what's going on. Like, and I trust in signs, and when you've tried to book a flight like 12 times and it doesn't work, there's something telling you not to book it. And then on the Sunday I went to bed and I was like, okay, maybe I got it wrong. If I have got it wrong, can you tell me where I'm supposed to be? Because I know I'm done with Panama. And I woke up in the morning to a message from her saying, we're going to gift the last place of the retreat. Fill in this application. And as soon as I read that, I knew I'd won the retreat. So much so, I went and did my morning meeting, and then I came back and I packed my case. And I'm a very big believer in, if I haven't won the retreat, I'm working it out somehow. I will be there. And that night I went to set an alarm because I was like, I knew I wasn't going to sleep properly if I didn't find out. And just as I was putting my alarm on, she messaged me like, I want to gift you the place to the retreat. And then on a crazy journey from the retreat, she was speaking at Gladiator Summit in Dubai, and I followed her there with her, and Nick was speaking. And in that moment, there was another guy, Ryan, who is Nick's business partner. And in that moment, I had this vision that we were going to put on a summit. And she had the same vision as well. We were kind of sharing ideas. Little did we know what we let ourselves in for with that one idea. And through another series of synchronicity events, Ryan was actually at a Joe Dispenza retreat that I was at in May, and I was just about to walk in, and there's such thing called a coherence healing, and you drop into kind of like a meditative state before you go in, and literally I just opened my eyes and Ryan was stood next to me, and I was like, okay, right. Like, the world for me, I have this ability of curating amazing people from all over the world and just being in the right place at the right time. And then I got speaking to Ryan, and Ryan introduced us to Nick, and everything just started magically happening. I mean, we literally have someone messaged us the other day, we want to create a documentary about you guys. Like, how can we do that? How can we do this? All of the speakers that have come to us have come so magnificently. They've come to us amazingly. Magnificently.
She looked at me, the country, and magnificently. I can help.
You have the posh accent versus me. So yeah, everything that's come to us has come so magically. Even me coming to Alena in November. Everything has been so synchronized. Yeah. I just know the power that this event is going to have, and not just here, like these micro events that we're doing, and the power of connection. Like, I saw a couple of you when people were doing the 30 seconds, like, oh yeah, I need to remember to reach out to you. Oh, I need to remember to reach out to you. And that is the beauty of this. I can't remember your question, but that's my intro.
But you know what? Like, it's not even about the question, right? It's about what wants to come out. Right, but the interesting part, is that as you can see, we like to keep it casual over here, because I find that for me personally, when we're smiling, when we're laughing, there's less resistance, right? We're more open, we're more willing to accept maybe other opinions or other people and so on. But just on a slightly more serious note, on this time, if each of you kind of reflect upon the journey that you've taken to be here tonight. Now, some of you knew you were coming, right? Feel, stand up again, because I love standing up. She's supposed to be flying out, right? And she's like, oh, cancel, right? So thank you both, right? And again, but each of you have got your own way into this, right? So as much as I kind of laugh and joke around, which I love to do, the serious part is that, this event right here, right? I Am Creation Summit, 33 world-class speakers from around the world flying in to be with you, one place, one time, over 3 days in Bali. It's a very special opportunity. right, that you have before you. So remember, stay to the end, and there'll be a great discount deal for everybody who wants to attend. But just, a good friend of mine, I can't remember who it was, and this I want to share with you. He said to me, Rob, he said, inspiration is caught, not taught. I was like, what? He goes, yeah, inspiration is caught, not taught. So what I invite you while we go through this, whatever it's going to be tonight, because I have no clue what's going to happen. I never do, but I trust. Look out for the inspiration that you catch, right? Because it's there with inspiring people like this, with inspiring people like you, right? We're all on the journey. And that's the reason why earlier on, I did that where everyone has a chance to speak and speak into why they're here and who they are. Because it's always been about connection for me, always. Different nationalities, ideologies, ways of seeing the world. But if we can come together around things which are common to all of us, it's phenomenal what we can create, far greater than the sum of its parts. And that's why I personally am in. So when Alena gave me a call, Rob, I was like, you know what? What is it? It's this, it's that. And John, who's can I say? Am I allowed to say? No, good. John, who has a crush on one of them here. It's not me. It's not Nick. It's not Kirsty. Just so you know. And not Shane. And not Shane. Right? Like when I know the mission behind this, for me, I'm in. I'll always be in. But I think it's better coming from you. So maybe this is the time for you to take the microphone. Why did you do this? Now, Kirsty has already said, look, we had this vision that we realized that we both shared, right? But what was your way into this?
I'll be honest, I didn't know that was going to be true. That was just an idea we were playing with. And then
I can tell you the message from this video, one connection that can change everything. For me, why I'm doing it is to create the space for people to meet this one connection. Today is 25th of August. 1 year ago, I met this guy. One person that I met at Mayan Valley 2 months before sent me a message, and he's like, I'm coming to Bali, I want to meet you. And I've spoke for 10 minutes with him at Mayan Valley University, and I'm like, but I have a weekend, I'm spending time with my child, and I'm flying to Singapore on Monday. I don't have time. And he's like, but I'm here just for a few days, and we should meet. And I'm like, and my heart was like, you should be there. So I'm coming to Ubud. There is a marathon around Bali. I'm in traffic, driving for 2.5 hours. I'm getting late to this meeting, and I'm calling to this guy, Navdeep, and like, Navdeep, I'm in the traffic and I can't be on time. And he's like, but I have my girlfriend has a birthday, and we are going with her to Pyramids of Chi for the session. This is my gift to her. Can you come to Pyramids of Chi? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I'm like, I'm already in the traffic for 2.5 hours. I don't care where I will go. So I'm coming to Pyramids of Chi. Navdeep is sitting there, this guy is sitting there, and Navdeep is like, sorry, you are too late, I need to go to the session, and like, you can talk with John. And like, I've spent 1 hour talking to John, then I went to Zook, then we went to meet again, etc. And for 2 months we were like friends, talking about the business, because he's doing a great work for people, leaders, speakers, to bring their gifts into the world. And next few days after, we had a meeting with him, and I told him, like, one day I will be female Tony Robbins and you will work for me. 1 year after, we are together, and he's supporting me to bring this event and to create the awareness about this event. And one of the synchronicities, one of the beautiful connection that happened to me, one day I received the download that I need to be in Dubai. I'm like, me in Dubai? Why? Like, most of the events that we are creating are in Bali. And I've decided to create today's event in Dubai, and I flew to Dubai, and one of the attendees at the event that we created in Dubai was Dariush Saudi, the organizer of Gladiator Summit. 2 days after, he was so inspired with today's event that we brought to Dubai from Bali. I had a recording of podcast with him, and he was inviting me to his event. And I'm like, sorry, I can't. I have TEDx talk in Philippines. And he's like, okay, I have a special special proposal for you. Like, if you will buy the tickets today and if you send me a receipt, you will get a space at Gladiator Summit and you will stay in front of 2,500 people. And I'm like, yes, sure. And guys, one of my biggest fear is to hold the mic and to stay in front of people with the mic. I'm Ukrainian, by the way, and my English is not my first language, and I have a huge fear to hold the mic and to speak in front of people because my language is not perfect. In November last year, I was opening Gladiator Summit with the prayer, and people in Dubai were holding the hands, and Gladiator and Dariush introduced me. This is my angel from Bali. And I was opening the event before the Nick came to the stage. Power of one connection. If I would not follow the guidance from my heart, from my higher self, I would not be in Dubai. I would not create this event. I would not meet Dariush. I would not meet Nick. We would not get these downloads to create the summit in Bali. We would not get this inspiration, and we would not sit here.
You know, it's interesting because quite a few of these people I know, right, and a lot of their stories is down to that one connection, that one synchronicity, that one thing that you read that kind of hit you differently that particular day, you know. So, but one of the other things which I love you to share with everyone here, you know, was about, and I don't want to lead you too much, which means I'm going to lead you too much, right? So it's this understanding of why can't Bali create an event such as, I pass it on to you.
Why can't, like, I am in business for 19 years. My background in business, 10 years in corporate business, 9 years I own my own company. For 5.5 years I live in Bali. I found this is like my home. I found this peace inside me coming from the rat race, from the corporate world, coming back to the heart. I've created so much luxury, abundance from this place. And when I came to Bali, I found way back home to my heart. And what I've created so far from my heart, like, guys, I can't even express in the words. And I've been to a lot of events. I've traveled a lot, more than 55 countries. And there are a lot of events happening in Dubai, Singapore, Australia, but not in Bali. A lot of people afraid to create this kind of events in Bali. My mission is to bring this, to open the stage, the international stage in Bali, to bring these voices from all over the world and give the access to people like you, for these incredible people like Nick, so they can share their gifts. Like, my mission is to create the revolution for the soul's evolution, and I can't do it alone. I'm doing it in the co-creation, collaboration with incredible people, because they have the gifts. And Bali, for me, is the best place for people to share their wisdom, their tools, and to support people to come back to their heart, because this is what the world needs. We've done a lot here. Like, I know so many amazing human doings, and I really want to create a space for them to become a better human being, not a human doing.
Love that. And look, in about 5 minutes, we're going to be going to you for questions, right? So that microphone that you had earlier on, you're going to be using it again, right? But now, as I mentioned before, you know how it works, you know, close to your mouth. So I deliberately, you know, left. There's so many questions I have for everyone here, but I don't want to be the one to ask them, right? Because you've made the effort to come, right? So for me, I feel duty bound and honored that you also have the opportunity to help lead where we're going to go. So when questions come, I would invite you to ask your question in the following way, right? If you want to plug your business, no problem, right? I am blah, blah, blah from XYZ, great. But then go straight into your question. Not too much of a preamble, kind of showing that I have all this knowledge, right? Don't worry about that. We can do that another time. So by doing that, you know, hi, my name is blah, blah, blah. Our company does da, 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 da. Wonderful. My question is, for
Alena.
See what I mean?
Even my partner is still
Alena.
learning how to
You know
do
what?
it, how to say it.
I'm going to be able to say this. By the time this conference is over, summit is over, I'm going to know how
My
to do
dear,
it.
don't worry. I love all the essences of my name.
I love it. So Alena, Kirsty, or Nick, yeah? So in about 5 minutes' time, so if you have questions now, think of what they are, and you'll get your opportunity. So my last question for now is about this. Dream big, play big, lead bold. Why this is the space for creators and leaders ready to step beyond limits and co-create the future together. Brother Nick, this question has you written all over it, right? But what comes up for you when you see this question? Dream big, play big, lead bold. Why this is the space for creators and leaders ready to step beyond limits and co-create the future together.
It's going to be an aggressive answer.
I love aggressive
Okay.
answers from you.
That's fine. I just believe that in every family, pain is passed down the bloodline until someone's ready to feel it. And I believe every 60 to 80 years, there's a transitional character in your bloodline that says, I'm not going to be broke anymore. I'm not going to have trauma anymore. I'm going to regulate my nervous system. I'm going to build a business. I'm going to travel. I'm going to change the whole bloodline. And the truth is, if you don't step up as your transitional character, your bloodline's going to have to wait another 60 to 80 years for someone to step up. I don't even have legs. I'm the one who stepped up in my family. Y'all know what I'm saying? You picking up what I'm putting down? So my intensity to go big, to dream big, to play big is because our ancestors didn't fight wars and go through famine and Holocaust, you name it, all these different things for you to complain that you can't close a sales call, for you to complain that your content doesn't hit. You know, it's like, I think we're just so lost. And I think every single one of us needs a perspective shift, a nice, gentle, loving kick in the booty. But I do it for my family. I want to be the one that changes the whole entire bloodline. And my hallucination is that if you're here today, you're probably the one in your family that is a little bit crazy, no one really understands, and you're the one that changed the game. So I always think about my bloodline.
My brother, thank you. Sister Kirsty, what comes up for you when I say that, when I share that? I can repeat if you want.
I think that most of us are really content playing small, and most of the world is content playing small, and even your dreams that you think are big really aren't that big. Like, what is the dream beyond the dream? Like, where can you actually let your mind get to? Because if you think now it's the $1 million, chances are you can easily get to the $10 million, but you don't want to allow yourself there because it's an extra zero. Like, literally, that's the only difference. There is no difference in effort in making $1 million to there is 10 million, apart from our preconceptions in our minds. Realistically, you could go and buy a lottery ticket and win $10 million. Like, it could happen in an instance. But we like to stay in this small container and not allow ourselves to really think or dream and then not create. So my invitation to you all right now is, what is your dream? And 10x it. 10x it right in this moment, and don't even think about what that dream is right now. Think about that dream that is the 10x, because that is where you will start to have the magic unfold. Random synchronicities, random men showing up at women's retreat and inviting us to Speak Up Mondays, like whatever it may be.
I was invited.
It will work
Randomly.
for you. But like, when you start to have fun with it, it's really crazy. Like, to the point where I just came back from Cambodia and it was the most interesting trip of my life, but everything was such a beautiful mirror that is like, why are you still playing small? What are you not thinking of? Like, if you get me and her in a room, John has to contain us. He's like, can you two just stop thinking of ideas, please? We've got too much to do. And we're like, well, you know, helicopter sounds good, and actually we're thinking about a summit on a yacht. We are, by the way, in case anyone's interested, 2026. We plan on getting a cruise ship somehow, and in Dubai, and we want love stadiums with 100,000 people. because why not? Like, if you're not going to dream big, someone else is going to dream big for you. And for me, like, love stadiums, 100,000 people in a room dropping into their heart. Imagine the ripple effect that can actually create in the world. And I just want to give you one example. We had a lady join our retreat in March, and Alena took her on a whole journey up Mount Batur, and she had been rejecting this guy at home for a few months, and then she dropped into her heart at the retreat, and she went home and she ended up starting dating this guy. And one of the reasons that we do what we do, or Alena does what she does, and now I do what I do, is because there is a give back. There's always someone else being affected. So for this summit, we have like Anikita, Plastic Angels, amazing foundations, Bali Wise. And in the retreat in March, we were sharing about Anikita, who support abandoned mothers and infants here in Bali, and they're building a center, and they're an incredible foundation. It's this one Russian woman who is a midwife who has delivered like 1,000 babies personally, and is just incredible woman. And the girl from the retreat in March told her new partner about this, and now he is supporting an orphanage in Mexico because that's where he's from. Like, the ripple impact that we don't even know, you don't even know how you said hello to that person in the shop and made their day, is so bigger than we believe. So I invite you all to dream big and really just realize that one act of kindness can really have an impact on the world.
You know, before it goes to Alena to answer this question, something comes up, right? It's twofold. I love threes, but this is twofold. What was it? It was right there. Yeah, okay. Anyone here heard of a lady Canggu moment? There you go. Anyone heard of a lady called Bonnick Ware? Raise your hand. Bonnick Ware. So just so I know you can hear me, if you haven't heard of Bonnick Ware, raise your hand. If you have not. Okay, beautiful. So Bonnick Ware, so B-R-O-N-N-I-E. Bonnick Ware, W-A-R-E is her surname, right? So she, I think she still is, a nurse. So once, it's like a hospice. So once you've been given a certain amount of time to live, you go to hospice. Basically, you're going somewhere to die. Just to be very straight and blunt. So she was one of the nurses which is there to facilitate your passage to wherever you're going next, right? So she created, let me go back. Once people that were there had accepted for themselves that I am going to pass on, and that I can, and there's so much freedom within that, she would ask them a question, several questions, but one question was, you know, are there any regrets? So remember, they're at the end of life now, 80s, 90, 100, and so on, right? Are there any regrets that you have about your life? That one question. So it's called Regrets of the Dying, right? And you can read it now. Regrets. It's a book. It's a whole series. And to cut a real long story short, the number one regret of the dying for hundreds and hundreds of people was the following. I'll paraphrase, but you'll get the idea. And it goes like this. I wish that I led the life that I wanted to lead, not the life that someone else wanted me to. I repeat again. I wish that I would have led the life that I wanted to lead, not the life that someone else, usually a parent, a friend, someone who has, you know, who you look up to, what they wanted you to lead. And this, it hit me, right? And I mean, it wasn't about, I wish I worked more, I wish I had more money, I wish I would have been nicer to my girlfriend, wife, husband, or so on. It was the number one was that one. It's a personal journey. So when you say before about dreaming big, and what you said before, Nick, about, you know, the bloodline, 60 years, right? It can stop with you. It can stop with you, right? It really puts these things into perspective. You know, so this is just something that I find to be really powerful. The other one is, so one of the reasons why this talk show even started, which a few of you know because you've been around me for a while, is that so in Sydney, where I lived for a long time, born in London but lived in Sydney, we were very successful in the hospitality industry. One of our venues was number 3 in the world, right? Very successful. So there were 3 guys, right? They all looked good, smelled good. They were the embodiment of what success was supposed to look like, right? Handsome, beautiful wife, partners. I think one had kids. Businesses that operated beautifully, very, very successful. In 1 year, all 3 committed suicide, and no one saw it coming. So one of the reasons for Speak Up Monday was that with a bit of more investigation, what I realized was that Monday, from memory, between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. is the highest rate of heart attack. And then Monday is also one of the highest days for suicides. So Speak Up Monday is deliberate. It's a terrible business decision. Like, you limit your day, you limit your Speak Up Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Monday, 1 day, come on. But that was the reason why, you know. So on a day where things are going this way, you can drop a stone of positive intention into a pond of still water, and that positivity impacts the whole. So when you said before, you know, about ripples and the ripple effect, I'm 100% on board, you know. And again, like, each of us, even if we don't dream big, in our lives can be that ripple effect for someone else. I grew up in kids' homes, orphanages. At the age of 12, I knew what I was supposed to do in my life. At 12, it took me about 10 years to realize it, but I realized, you know, where my gift lay and why I was here. And I knew it. I knew it, but I was too scared to follow it for 10 years. So again, you may be sitting here and you kind of know already what you're supposed to be doing. Maybe you're doing it, maybe you're not. Who cares? But what I remember, it was Zig Ziglar or someone. Today is the first day of the rest of your life. That one stuck with me too, which means that at any point in time, you can make a decision today to change. It's as simple as that. Right? So today is the first day of the rest of your life. So when I get to tomorrow and I haven't done what I'm supposed to do, today is the first day of the rest of my life. And again, so for inspiration is caught, not taught. I'm a huge believer in that, and that's what's happened to me. Maybe it's happening to you right now with some of the things that people are sharing, but we all have inspiration within us, and that's the thing. I've interviewed 1,000 people, or the show has interviewed 1,000 people, different walks of life, different levels of success, Indonesian, foreigner, you name the nationality, we probably interviewed it. Each one has inspiration. Each one has brilliance. As all you, I don't know all of you, but each of you has brilliance within you, right? So again, sometimes it takes a hard experience to prize that out. Sometimes it takes words like Brother Nick, Sister Kirsty, Sister Alena, right? To kind of bring it out of you. But remember, like, it's never too late to change. And again, going back to this is another reason why this is so valuable and so important. Events like this in Bali and other places around the world are so important because it reminds us, when there's a whole weight of media going the opposite way, it reminds us that there's a spark of brilliance within every one of us, and you don't know which person's going to rise. Actually, as a mass, you can predict numbers, probability, but you don't know which person is going to be that person, which will make a change that has a chain reaction, right? So that's something that's coming through. Alena, the question for you, my darling, was again, dream big, play big, lead bold. Why is this a space for creators and leaders ready to step beyond limits and co-create the future together? And remember, questions are going to come after this. So if you have a question in about 5 minutes, raise your hand and we'll start you. Over to you, darling.
I see.
Come on. Yeah.
Yes. I think, like, as I shared before, my mission is to create a revolution for the soul's evolution. And coming from Ukrainian family, staying at work from 9 not to 5 till 10 in the evening, trying to support my family, my mother, my single mother, not talking with my father for 15 years. staying at work, corporate business, 10 years, traveling around the world, having all this money, luxury, completely disconnected from myself. And as I shared, I came to Bali and I found the answers here. Bali, this is the place for people to find the answers. When we open the space and we invite all of these incredible speakers that live their life, and Michael Beckwith, one of the legendary star from the Secret movie. I don't know how old is he. I think around 60, right, or more. Imagine how many years he's spent to impact people around the world. And Michael Beckwith is just one of 33 speakers. Nick is one of our headliners, and we have a lot of many other people. So imagine having all of them in the space for you, what they can bring for you. One conversation, one insight, one tool can really change your life. And I came from Ukraine. I've shared before. For me to take this mic and be in front of people is one of the biggest fear. And when I started the meditation, I got this download. I started here by creating the women's circles. And guys, I work in completely different sphere. I supply fish all over the world. I was not connected to spirituality at all. But since I've started to meditate and listen to my higher self, I started to create the women's circles. Then I got the download in Costa Rica in the shower to create the retreats. 3 months after, I started to create the retreats. Then I had the idea to have the festival and to support Anakita. With one day we got $10,000. Then I got the idea to create the event in Dubai. Now we are creating after this we started to create online summits. Now we are creating in-person summit. So it's when you come back to yourself, when you start to be led by your heart, by your higher self, when you finally find what are your gifts, and when you start to bring it into the world, you can't even imagine how much magic can happen in your life. Because all this pain, everything happened to us so we can come back to ourselves, to our uniqueness, to our gifts, because all of us have the gifts, so we can start to play big. For me, it was the decision to finish my corporate job, and at that time I didn't know what I will do, but I told to myself, I know that I'm here for something bigger, and I couldn't even imagine what I will do. Now I know, and this constant choosing myself and choosing to be led by the higher self and playing big opened so many doors for me. And I can't even I'm so excited for you guys if you will join this event and you will meet all these incredible speakers that are flying from all over the world to inspire you. And if at least you can take one tool from what they will share, believe me, and you can meet one person, I'm sure there will be so many changes for you in that space.
Beautiful. Oh, you look like you wanna add to that. Remember, questions over here.
Just before we go to questions, I also just want to talk about fear, because this woman is fearless, and I have never met a woman like it, in all honesty. And she will have the idea, download, whatever you want to call it, and she will take one inspired action within 24 hours, usually within the first 10 minutes, even if it makes zero sense whatsoever. Message this person, or send one text, or send one email. She doesn't even allow the time for fear to creep in, and it is such an inspiration to be around that. But she just has such a trust in herself, in the bigger picture, in the higher, whatever you want to use the word, God, universe, even yourself, that it just works every single time. And sometimes it doesn't, but then something bigger comes along. And in Rob's remarks before about Bronnie Ware. I do know who she is. I've read her book. But I also used to be a palliative carer, and I looked after a lady, Mary, and I said, okay, like, what can we do? What's on your bucket list realistically that we can do? And she said, I want to have cake for breakfast. And I said, what do you mean? And she said, I've never had cake for breakfast. She was 94. I was like, what do you mean you never have cake for breakfast? I eat cake for breakfast every day. Like, for me, it's very normal. But she'd been so scared about sugar and being healthy throughout her whole life, and she'd raised her kids about that. Her one dying wish was to have cake for breakfast. Like, imagine going through fear for 90 years about your health and not just even experiencing cake. I know it's a very opposite end of the spectrum, but I really just want to bring in, like, if you have an idea, it doesn't have to be create the whole business plan or do this. Just send one text. Hey, I have this idea. Do you know anything about this, or whatever it may be? Because this woman is living testament, and this is how she collates amazing people from all the around the world. You just have to speak to 5 minutes to her and you will fall in love with her. Like, she is incredible. But we all have this gift within us. It's just giving ourselves permission to be that person.
You know, we're going to questions, right? But Nick, I'm looking at you and I'm thinking about fear. And by the way, Brother Guzman, just make sure we're going to play this one over here. Fear, right? Just quick show of hands. Has anyone here experienced fear? Just raise your hand. Anyone here experienced fear? Great.
And I have fear, and I have a lot of fears. I just literally I see the fear as the possibility to grow and as a message for me to see what else is there inside that stops me from playing big. So for me, it's not bad. Fear is its opposite. I've changed my perception about the fear. I'm like, okay, I'm curious. What is there? What else is there? Like, what else wants to come up to the surface so I can finally see it, embrace, and transmute the energy so I can use this energy into the creation.
All right. So questions are coming, I promise. Right? I promise. Nick, I want to hear from you about fear, but you've just said something, right? And part of this is I would love people here today to walk away with something that they can use today, right? So you just spoke about fear, which everyone here said, hey, we faced at some point. So can you go through quickly-ish a process, perhaps the one that you use, right, that helps you to transmute fear? Because again, you said you've basically, you've reprogrammed yourself to see fear as an opportunity, not as the reason why I shouldn't, reason why I should. So how did you do that in a way that people here or watching there can maybe take a couple of notes?
Yeah, like for me, fear is the emotion that is stuck in the body, and fear is created because of the experiences in the past, and it's just stuck in the system. So what I'm doing when I feel the fear, like I'm just shaking, dancing, doing some physical movement to move the energy, to let the energy flow in my body. So shaking 10 minutes, like I can do this, like it's important to come back to the present moment and into the body. And then, like when I'm coming back, I, like after the shaking, I'm like, okay, I'm here. Like, what is the message? Show me. I always ask this question and bring the curiosity. Like, show me. What is the message for me? What do you want me to see? Because for me, I told you, it's like how I can bring the light to all the darkness that is within me, to all the limiting beliefs that still are there holding me in this cage. Because in reality, the cage is open. It's me holding myself and still keeping myself in the cage, but the door is open. So it's like a step of courage every time. When I have this fear, I get the message from it. I see what is there inside, and I choose to make the action not from the fear, but from the peace inside.
Thank you very much. Brother Nick, how do you approach fear? Is there a process? I know you've from Tony to Joe, right? From the push to the pull towards, the magnetized towards. But if someone here, I know it's very broad, but if someone here says that I have fear, how do you help them to perhaps turn that fear into opportunity?
Yeah, I think we have check. I think we have similar philosophies. We changed the meaning. We changed the meaning with fear, and so my definition of fear, My definition of fear is caution over a real and present danger. And so, if you look at some of the greatest fears, fear of public speaking. Does anyone have fear of public speaking? You definitely know. No, but really, does anyone have a fear of public speaking?
Me.
Okay, great. If you go on stage, you're not going to die. Your arm's not going to fall off. But the truth is, you're so hyper-focused on self that you rob yourself of serving others. And so, I'm sorry. And so, fear is caution over real and present danger. So, anytime that you have a fear, you can ask yourself, am I going to die? And if the answer is no, then you should probably do that thing. But you also have to understand that there is a time where fear is a friend, and there's time where fear is a foe. So, where are my ladies at? Ladies, just wave at me. Okay. Okay, great. If you have an arm, use it. Okay, great. Okay. And so if you are in I live in Dubai, so it's pretty safe, right? But if you live in a not so good place and you're walking to your scooter or your car at night, and ladies, you feel a little bit of fear and your head's on a swivel, making sure no one runs up on you, is fear a friend? Yes or yes? Yes. On the other hand, if you have a hand, if you want to go up to a guy that's attractive and then your brain talks you out of it, is fear a friend or is fear a foe? It's a foe. And so you have to understand and identify when fear is a friend and when fear is a foe. And the truth is, the majority of the time, the fear is just keeping you stuck. It's just going to keep running the same old pattern. And so I have a very similar philosophy, which it gets me in trouble sometimes. But anytime that I'm afraid to do something, I have to now. And so, for example, I'll give you a small example. I used to suck at swimming. I was scared of swimming, and I fought through that fear. And has anyone ever been on Instagram and saw like a really cool place that they like to swim before? So I was in Colombia, and I saw this diving board that was over the side of the ocean. I was like, damn, that kind of scares me just looking at it. And I'm driving in a golf cart with my friend, and I look to the left, and what do I see? I see the diving board, and now I'm like, oh, now I have to do it. And so we stop, and it was Ratmir, and so I told my brother, I was like, you go first, like test it out, jump first, see if it's good. And so he tests it out, and then he jumps, and I was like, all right, I'll just like look over the side, And so I walk over, I have a life jacket on, I walk over I'm on the diving board, and I look down, I'm like, yeah, maybe not today. And I turn around, and there's like 30 Colombians going, vamos, vamos, go, go. Now, I'm a performer. If I'm on a stage, I got to do it, right? And so they counted down from 3, 2, 1, and I jumped off the side of a cliff into the ocean. But what I've realized was this. Maybe the gift wasn't Nick jumping off the diving board and overcoming himself. Maybe the gift was random strangers finding a guy with no legs of an arm, coming against himself and doing it anyway, and them identifying something in their life that they can take control of. And so, just to end off, my question when I wake up is, how can I be a blessing to other people? I didn't know it was going to be jumping into a diving board, but that was the blessing we gave them. So if you're not going to die, you have to do it. If you want to unwire and rewire your brain the fastest, keep what you fear the most on the forefront of your brain and attack that thing. Everything you want is on the other side of the thing you fear the most.
My brother, round of applause for that. Whoa. Inspiration is caught, not taught. Microphone goes. Is one of these mics? Damn it! All right, we'll take the mic from you, Alena. 2. All right, questions. Raise your hand. Yeah, over here, of course, Carol. Slide it forward. All right, so remember, the process is plug yourself, no problem, but then go straight to your question. Therefore, we can fit more questions in, give more value. And please, Alena, Kirsty, Nick, please choose one, okay? Yeah.
Okay, I'll go directly to the question, but I want to have an answer by the three of you, so that gives you more time.
Well, I knew you were going to do that, because it's Carol. It's okay, I know Carol.
It's wonderful to speak about big dreams, but I think that in the race to achieving your big dreams, in the race to reach for the stars, many people forget to reach for their neighborhood. We've never been as lonely as we are right now. And I find that people really suffer from a lack of community. Now, I'm a community maker, and I invest a lot of of effort and commitment in community, because I know that it's the single predictor of longevity. So, do you have community, close community? And how do you nurture it and expand it? And how does it serve you? In alignment with creating your big dream. Because I don't think you can have one without the other. But sadly, a lot of people seem to actually be focused in their office or co-working space, creating the big dream and not paying any attention to the people that are around them.
So, Sister Carol, for us, just repeat just the question alone.
Do you have community? How do you nurture it? And how does it impact the creation of your bigger dream?
Okay, thank you very much. Great question. Who wants to start? I'm looking at Alena.
For me, like, if I can change one life, it means that I had a very successful day. All the retreats, all the events, online summits, all the spaces that I create, my mission is to have this safe space for people to connect, not to connect from the mind, but to connect from the heart, to be in the space where people really see you, who you are, that cherish you, to create those spaces where we can be authentic, where we can be ourselves. What I'm doing is I'm creating those spaces, as I told, physical retreats. Now we are creating a summit for 3,000 people, and what we are doing, we are giving them the tools. All the speakers that I'm bringing to the summit, all the speakers that I'm bringing to the events, online, in person, etc. These are the people that help me on my journey. So I know all of them. And for me, one of the things when I choose the speakers, I want to be sure that they are heart-centered. This is first. Second, I want to be sure that they are on the mission to create the impact and ripple effect. If these are those people, I am bringing them to the community, and I give the access to people through the free webinars, online summits, so I can share all the tools that I've learned myself. I can give it to people so they can learn all these tools and become a better human being instead of human doing. So I'm doing it through creating those spaces. And yes, we have the online community. Yes, like during the events that we are creating, we have like groups that we are nurturing, that we are sharing, that we are meeting and having like all these events. Yeah.
Thank you, Kirsty. But by the way, Carol, because she's very special and she's a co-host at SpeakuP Monday as well for some episodes, she's the only one who gets away with all three people answering, right? From now on, one person, okay? Yeah.
I don't know if you'll like my answer, but I'm going to give it anyway. Community only serves you when you're in the community at that time of your life. Like, I used to really try my best to be a coke addict, and I was an alcoholic for a long time. I still love a lot of those people, but they're not in my life anymore because I'm at a different point of my life. And I think as humans, we sometimes get too attached to community and too attached to people who may not be in our best alignment right now. And that doesn't mean that there's no love lost. That doesn't mean that you wish them ill well or anything like that. But it's about constantly finding people that you can elevate yourself with, because then that community grows, and then the community beyond that grows as well. Because if you're doing yourself a disservice, you're out of alignment. So it's really important to pick community, but also not get too attached to it, because it can be as much of a detriment as it can be as much as an amazing positive jump board for you. So I think it's a multitude of answers, but again, it's coming back to yourself. Like, if you're truly living beyond yourself, if you're dreaming big, if you are actually playing to that role, the right people will attract to you. You don't even have to do anything. But if you are just, okay, cool, well, you know, I'm going to go for that promotion. It's $2,000 more a year and it'll do me for right now. Is that really serving you? Is that manager really serving you to your best ability in that moment? Probably not. So I think it comes down to yourself. I think it comes down to your dreams, and then from there you will find the community that attracts to you. And it doesn't mean go and get rid of all your friends. I'm not one of these people that thinks just cut everyone off, but it's about learning who's in your life for why. Some are just there because they've been there for 20 years and you love them. That's absolutely fine. But then there's other people who are there to elevate you, to give you whatever you need. So yeah, that's my answer.
Got it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I have an aggressive answer too. I would lead with the quote, the blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb. Just because we popped out of the same mom doesn't mean we're cool and we're family and we're in alignment. And so I think oftentimes my hallucination is that sometimes the closest people in your life don't understand why you're at a seminar. They don't understand why you're in Bali. They don't understand why you're posting on Instagram. And I'm not telling you to cut those people off, but you do what we call loving them from afar. And I think it's very important that there's just specific conversations you can't have with specific people. There's specific ideas that you can't share with specific people. With that being said, I think it's important to create community because I believe proximity is power. And for me, I have like 4 or 5 men that we hold each other accountable. We put ourselves to the flame. We get critiqued. We get aggressively put back into place. We heal together, that different type of stuff. And then for my people, because I serve, I want to create a community for my people. So I believe that anyone here that has a product or service, you should have a community. And the reason being is because immersion causes conversion. Did you hear that? The more time people spend with you, the more they will fall in love with you and want to do business with you and ascend up your value ladder. Now, how do you give value to a community? I'll make it very simple. You operate out of the third dimension of a relationship. And the third dimension of a relationship states, your needs are my needs. And so if I have a community and I'm building a community, I'm going to obsess over your needs and over deliver on them, and you'll never leave me. And so do more for others than you would do for yourself, and in return you'll be blessed. But I firmly believe that if I bless enough people, I can have anything that I want in this life. And so for those that are building communities, stop trying to build things based off what you think people need. Go ask your people what they need, and the gold is within your people.
Thank you, brother. Ooh. Okay, other questions? Raise a hand. Anyone over here? Yes, just over there. Yep. Great. Brother Yoga, are you there? Can we have 2 more glasses of water, if possible? If you can hear me, Brother Yoga. Brother Yoga. Okay. Yep. Just give us 1 second. We'll get you mic'd up. Guz, if we could turn that microphone up. Yeah.
It's because of me.
All right, there you go.
Rob turns it off on me all the time. Nick, I'd love to give you a compliment. I absolutely astonish your aggressiveness and your confidence and your blunt, bold style. Rob doesn't like it. I do. We always have a fight about it because I'm like that. So, you know, like this is so hot and so like deep, you know, emotionally and in terms of emotional intelligence and intellectual intelligence. This is like extremely handsome and hot, speaking about the looks and this beauty that comes within. So the hot guy, guys. So here's the question. How do you filter people because of all that bullshit and, you know, people coming to you in Emirates and elsewhere, like trying to create that image and what, you know, because people are really different from the pattern that they create and what they try to show and what they really are in real life. Like, how do you filter and how do you figure out who to keep around and how do you test it? And how do you like get them out of comfort zone, or what do you do to them to figure out what they really are like? And how do you like, speaking about like long-term relationships, like if you made any, because you know how hard it is when you grow older to tolerate the bullshit and to like keep people around, and how like not many people are actually decent, and like how many people are like having those good looking under good did so's agendas, but they actually like some rotten agendas because they're trying to prove something to the parents or whatever. They don't care, like some charity crap. So how do you filter that out in terms of like projects, business, personal relationships, and figure out like what to get involved with, who to get involved with, and how to actually test it, and how long, how much time you give it?
I love it. You're a rock star. Okay, great. I got a lot to cover. I'll do it very quickly. First and foremost, never trust the tongue in someone's mouth. Always trust the tongue in their foot. Y'all catch that? Yeah. Meaning, never trust what they say. Trust what they do. And so oftentimes you could just analyze people's actions and know whether they're in alignment or whether they're not in alignment if you hang around them long enough. I think it's also important to identify values, right? Like that's why we're here, because we are in the same values and heart-centered. So it's important for you to have your values clear and pre-frame or up front, be upfront with your values so you know if it aligns or not. So that's really important. And then also, two things on like the brain thing is be very, very careful that you don't slip into the belief that all people are bullshitters, that all people are out to get me. Because I create opponents. Like I think everybody's against me. It's a pattern of mine. So that's maybe it's helped me for a long time, but I always think everybody's out to get me. And if I believe it, then I'll see it all over and I'll think everybody's out to get me. So I would change the belief and be like, there are beautiful people. I'm going to find those beautiful people. So I'd be very, very conscious of that. But also, in relationships, whether it's business or intimate, so many people give their partner the crumbs of them because they're afraid to go all in on love. And my advice to you is this: just love so deeply, and if you get destroyed, at least you know you were an exceptional lover. Love so good and serve so hard and be of service, and if they reject you, if they cheat on you, if they screw you over, at least you know, damn, I was an incredible lover, because I don't want to miss out on going all in because of my past experiences. And if that's the case, then I'm going to get hurt. And some of you forgot when you were born that you actually came to the human experience to get cheated on, to get rejected, to fail, to get smacked in the face, to experience the contrast of life. And so welcome all of the people and all of the experience, because if you're a true magician and alchemist, you will transmute all of it anyway. Welcome it all.
Yes. Great question. Great answer. Yes, another question?
I love listening to Nick. I could definitely sit and chat to you for another 2 hours eating more ice cream.
Now that after this, we're going to eat ice cream, everybody.
Yeah. Well, this one is for any of the three to answer, because I know that if you had spoken to me about a year ago, maybe even 2 years ago, and I'd listened to this conversation, I'd be sitting here going, yeah, that's nice for them, but how the fuck do I get there? So the question is, what does it take, or what did it take you to have that insight, or that guts, or that courage, or that motivation? Or what was it? Was it an event? Was it something that somebody said? I'd love to kind of hear somebody who's like really edging to answer this question.
Me.
We all knew it was Kirsty, by the way. Did you get that? It was like,
I'm probably the most still on the spectrum, so I think that it probably resonates the most. Honestly, if you're already having that thought, you're already there. And the universe is always talking to you. God is always talking to you. You are always talking to you, whichever phrase of that resonates with you. And the more you can realize that everything is your creation, like these are all in my movie right now, and Alena will tell you that I'm in hers, but absolutely not. Like, I managed to get her a treat for free. Is she joking? Like, it's my movie, and but I truly view the world like that. And even when I'm in that, okay, what's going on? Is this for me? Can I do it? There will be something so random that just takes me out of my mind. So for one example, we're going to be part of a book series, and I was writing the chapter and I was like, why am I doing this? And then I was like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And I caught this squirrel, and this is going to sound so nuts. I caught this squirrel out the corner of my eye whilst I was sitting in my friend's house in LA, which was also really random anyway. And this squirrel looks at me square in the eye and then puts his hand on his heart. What? Like, that makes no sense to anyone, but to me in that moment it literally meant come back to your heart. Like, and I took it as that. Now everyone else might think, okay, she needs what event have we signed up for, what are we doing? But because I take things as they are, as a message for me, that for me was so deep and profound, when actually the squirrel was just probably got a flea or something and just scratching, like, and anyone else would never notice that. But if you're sat here already, if you're listening to this online, you're already in the space of creation beyond the creation that you believe that you're in right now. So just trust that. Just keep going, even when it makes no sense. The amount of times I have quit this summit is ridiculous, because I'm like, what is going on? Shane over here's quit a million times. Even Alona's quit. The only person that hasn't quit is John. And like, because we're just three crazy people with an idea. None of us are event planners. None of us are organizers in that regard, or have done anything at this scale. I've done a couple of things in the tech world, but nothing on this scale. But everything keeps working. Everything keeps aligning. All because we had an idea and we're just working it out as we go. If you get a promotion in your job, you work it out as you go. No one tells you how to do that promotion. You just do it. But because it seems like the normal path, you don't really question it. So why would you question where you're at right now?
Beautiful answer. Another question over here somewhere. Yep, raise your hand. Thank you, brother. Yeah. All right. It's okay, brother Guzman. Yeah. Mic up. All right. So maybe I see Johnny. See, that's where you know the speakers. They always push a
Hello?
button.
Yes.
These got no buttons. You got no buttons to push.
I have a massive dream and a goal. It's to create the Nike of veganism, and everything that you've said tonight has resonated so much with me. I will definitely be at your summit because I believe in the power of one, and I'm just planting the seed right now to meet my business partner that I'm calling in, who wants to create this dream with me. And my question to one of the ladies, most likely Alena, because you just answered Kirsty, but Dr. Joe Dispenza is one of the people that changed my life. And as a woman, as like alpha, ambitious, I oscillate between the Tony Robbins, like hustle, go hard, versus like the feminine, aligned action, follow your intuition. So how do you manage that? Like, sometimes when I'm doing nothing, I feel like I'm lazy or like I'm not doing anything, but then I really do trust in like the feeling of like the inspired action. So how do you manage that?
This is me all the time, because I came from the corporate, from the business world 19 years, and I came back to my feminine since I came to Bali. And there is always this pattern where I switch to my masculine, feminine. I stop judging myself, my masculine and feminine, and I create from wholeness. And I get these downloads from the feminine when I'm sitting in the meditation, or when I create a space for myself to listen what is the message from the universe. But then it's important to bring this idea, this download, into the 3D world, and you need to do the action. And sometimes the masculine, it's not about masculine or feminine, it's about your experience, about the tools, about the actions. And in the moment you feel like, okay, I want to go and meditate because I need more clarity, or I go and now I need to send the message or call to someone. This is the action. So in every moment I tune to what is alive right now and what would be the best thing to do, because I'm co-creating with the universe, and it's very important to get this guidance and allow myself to be guided. So when you give this permission to your higher self to guide, when you trust to this guidance, the universe, the God, whatever you call it, is playing with you in your team. So when you trust, it means that you are co-creating. If you don't trust, you are not co-creating. So give the space to yourself to listen to yourself. What is there? What is alive? And then based on what is alive, just tune into it and do whatever feels right. And don't judge, I am this. Don't put the labels. You are a feminine, you are in the feminine body, right? And it's beautiful to have all these tools and experiences and everything like inside, all these qualities inside. And it's not bad or good, right? You're a unique human being. It's just like create from the wholeness. This would be my advice. Because sometimes it's so difficult to, you feel divided. Okay, I am masculine, I am feminine. No, I should be like this. I should look like this. I should behave like this. No, just stop this. Like, make a decision in the moment.
Kirsty wants in, I can tell.
No, I just wanted to add, we had a girl in the November retreat who has a very similar mission to you, and she wants to create dresses. So remind me to give you her contact.
Love that. So everybody here in the audience, just wanted to raise your left hand. Everybody, just raise your left hand. Thank you. Put that hand down. Raise your right hand. Good. Just checking that your hands work. All right, this is good. Your hands work. Questions. Raise either hand, right or left, doesn't matter. Now I know the hands actually work. One question, but over here, any more questions? Yeah? Oh, it's okay. Don't touch any button unless someone pushed it. Oh, you did. By the way, with these ones here, don't push the buttons. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So probably for Alena, if I said that correctly again.
I told you I love all the essences of my name.
A follow up to this question, kind of similar. If you've got lots of interests, if you're like a squirrel who's just like, I'm looking here, I'm looking there, I'm curious about this, I've got this skill, I've got this passion, I'm good at this, I'm great at that, I want to be involved in all of these things, and energy is dispersed. How do you bring it into something that's really sharp and clear, and all of the energy is channeled in one direction that's, really cutting through to something?
Are you clear on your purpose and your mission?
No.
Find your purpose and your mission, and then you will have a clarity of what to do. Because until you find it, there will be a lot of noise and there will be a lot of curiosity. As soon as you find something that wake you up in the morning, as soon as you have this fire from within, and you will feel this passion every morning to do something, believe me, you will not be like everywhere. You will be here every day, because this mission will drive you, will take you out from the bed, and you will move forward with it.
Now here's another really hard question, because I know what you're going to ask, right? And you've all got about a minute to answer this. Good luck. How do you find your purpose and your mission? That was your question.
Imagine that you have everything. You have the job that you dream, you have the husband, you have the kids, you have a lot of money, and you've created everything. What will be one thing that you will continue to do every day till the end of your life, even if you will not be paid? What will be this one thing? Beautiful.
Kirsty, thank you.
Just fucking try everything. Don't worry about it. Purpose is again is to focus on one thing. Just try everything. See what you enjoy. Experience life. Don't get hung up on it. Channel one day into whatever. It doesn't matter. Experience over anything, because then it will come. I haven't found mine. I'm not bothered. Sorry, guys.
Anyone? Am I bothered?
Am I bothered though?
Don't look bothered?
Am I bothered though?
Am I bothered though?
If they're not in the UK, they're not going to get that.
Yeah, I like that answer. I think the human experience is you getting lost and finding yourself over and over again. And so if you're in the season of loss, enjoy it, because on the other side of loss is found. And so enjoy both seasons. But I'll go real nerdy real quickly. Is I also believe that your purpose is serving your younger self. So all the trials and tribulations and the trauma that you've healed and the things that you've achieved and the results that you have, your duty is now to turn around and collapse time for other people. And so I believe that I am the adult that would have protected my little boy when I was a little child. I'm the one who would have saved him. I'm the one who would have taught him. I'm the one who would have parented him. And I think all of us become the adult that little boy or little girl needed. But if there's anything that you leave with from me, it would be that your who is you a few years ago. And so where was I a few years ago? What was I struggling with? What challenges were I struggling with? What strategies did I need? And I find a lot of purpose and fulfillment in asking myself, where can I collapse time for people? Because if I can collapse time for people, I can change their life and they'll pay me a lot of money. But that's like the masculine, I want to make money and do some cool shit kind of answer.
You know, what comes up for me is, who was it? Someone told me this a while ago, and it stuck. I've shared it to so many other people, but it didn't come from me. And it's this like ikigai, right? Of the way it was shared with me, and the way I share it to others is, you know, start with, you know, writing 5 or 10 things down on a piece of paper. You can tell my generation, write it on a piece of paper. It's like, piece of paper and a pen? What are you, nuts? We have devices for that. So write it down on a piece of paper or your device. You know, what 5 or 10 things do I love to do? Just love to. They light me up. They make my heart feel warm. I'm just so happy doing those things. That's one. The next one, set of 5 or 10, is you know, what skills do I have or can easily upskill to? And this might be you asking someone else, like Nick mentioned the men's group, right? The 5 guys. Ask people who would tell you the truth. They're not going to put good stuff, you know, oh, you're beautiful. Like, no. Tell me the truth. What am I good at? What do I suck at, right? And they'll tell you, well, you're pretty good at this, this, and this, if you need that support. So number 1, 5 or 10 things that I love to do. Number 2, 5 or 10 things that I have the skills to do or can easily upskill to. And the last one is 5 or 10 things combining those two in an action that can create, for example, income. So what is it that I love to do? What is it that I have the skills to do? And what can I create from putting those together? And you might have 5 or 10 ideas. And then when you have these 5 or 10 ideas, then it's saying, well, which are the lowest hanging fruit? Maybe I'll try that first. The other kind of filter is which has a future, or which is now, which has a future right now. There might be one in there that's technologically sound and you might think, well, that one has legs, that one has a future, I'm going to try that one first. And that's what I found it helped me a lot, and it's helped other people. What did yours come out
as librarian?
If it comes out as librarian, hey, if that's how you roll, I'm happy for you. The world needs more librarians, right? It's whatever it is for you, right? It might be making music, and oftentimes it's a thing that's right in front of your face, but you don't see it anymore because you're not looking there. You're looking past into the future or into this area here when it's right here. So quite often when you find what it is, you realize this has been there the whole time. When I was a kid, I loved climbing trees or whatever it was, and why or where did I forget or fall out of love doing that thing? And you realize you never did, but you stopped doing it for some reason. You know,
I want to add to this, when you do this kind of task, just close your eyes and just feel in your body. That is like the intuition, there is inner knowing, because you have the gifts. You came here with your unique gifts, with your unique blueprint. It's there already. All the answers are inside. When you close your eyes and when you feel into this list, you will have the answer. The right answer is inside with the feeling, because we are doing a lot of things from the mind, but you can feel it with your intuition. Just listen to yourself, and like you will feel with your body.
So I know Yanni got a question, but any other questions over here? Yes. Where's the mic? No idea. Over there. Thank you for your question. Man, you landed on your feet. You just fell into Bali, fell into this. It's like, honey, your synchronicity is strong. Oh, it was you this morning. You know, like we say in the UK, you ought to buy a lottery ticket. Over to you, brother. Don't push any buttons, man. Come
No,
on.
I didn't.
All right, good man.
I just saw that the battery level was low, and I was wondering if it was going to cut out.
Let's see.
The first part is I wanted to follow up on that one, because when people ask the question of how do I find my purpose, how do I find my meaning, it's a bit of a triggering question for me, because it's such a loaded question for a start, because the first thing it does is that it externalizes purpose and meaning. It makes it sound like it's something out there to be found, something it's inside. I agree. And so people can spend years searching for that purpose, for that meaning. And the second thing that question does is that it makes it sound like there's a right and a wrong. So if you haven't found it, it makes you feel like you're living incorrectly because you're not living in alignment with your purpose and your meaning. But the way I approach it is that it's not something to be found, it's something to be decided. So you're ultimately the creator of your own life, which makes you the ultimate creator of your own purpose and meaning. So it's not a question of trying to find it and discover it. It's just a question of getting to the point where you can make a decision and then commit to it, which ultimately ends up creating the full circle of fulfillment.
You were right with the battery, but the timing was perfect. Thank you for coming. Clearly, that's why you came, right? So thank you. So next question, we're going back over here while the mic gets re-batteried, if that's even a term. I think it's going to become one.
Sorry, I did have a question as well.
Oh, you
and
did?
It's for Nick. I'm not looking for the correct answer. I'm looking for your first answer that springs to mind.
Ooh.
What's a moment in your life that you think about often?
It was 15,000 people in Miami Heat Arena, and I was anchoring the importance of decisions, how life can change in a moment of decision. And the reason why we're all here is because Tony decided that he wanted to change 1 billion lives or whatever. And then I turned to my parents and I said, the only reason why I'm here is because my parents decided not to abort me when everyone else wanted to. And I had them stand up and get a standing ovation. That's the first thing that came to my brain. I don't know where I went, but that's my moment.
That's cool. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Okay, we're coming back this way. All right. So remember, your arms work. You might be in 1 of 3 places. One, I've got a question. 1 second. One question might be, hey, I have a question, but I'm too scared to ask. Everyone here is incredibly supportive of each other. So no question is a dumb question. It doesn't exist, because remember, there's a collective intelligence here. So if you ask a question because someone else here is thinking to ask the same one, but perhaps doesn't have the courage. Second place you might be is like, Yana, you know your question, you want to answer, give me the microphone. Super cool. And the third place you might be in a place of indecision, which, as Nick kind of told you before, if there's fear that's not going to kill you, just go for it. All right? Yana, over to you.
Hello?
Yeah.
Is it working? Oh.
Working fine.
Yeah, so I have first question to Nick. I love it how sharp and clear you're all the time, because you always need to deliver and perform. If you don't feel like it, what's your approach? That's the question to you, and the question to all of you.
Just wait, one question at a time. So Nick, I'll answer the question. Let's do it that way.
Hit me again.
So just repeat that question.
To be ready to perform and deliver at the time when you have to, but you don't feel like, to stay sharp and clear and in focus, what's your approach?
Yeah, mine's aggressive. I'm pretty aggressive. I'm sorry, guys. Girls.
Don't be sorry, brother.
I'm in the head a lot here today, I guess. When I'm tired, I realize that, well, not anymore, but my big motivator was my parents are still working, so get on stage. Your family is still working 9 to 5. Like, you got to get on stage. You got to produce. But I've also learned that it's better to be a prepared man than have a prepared message. And
what if you feel sick?
What if I feel sick? I'll give you an example of how aggressive I am, but you don't need to adopt this. The morning I found out my brother overdosed and died from heroin and fentanyl, 3 hours later I was on a Zoom call teaching children. I think the only way that I can get outside of myself is to give to others. And so, I mean, if you're like pooping and like that stuff, like you probably shouldn't be on stage. But I also believe that life is about coming against yourself and doing it anyway. At least this is masculine coming out. Sorry, ladies. But at least for me, as a man, I often don't do things because I feel like them. I do things because it's a must for me. And I know it's going to reinforce my identity. But on the lady side of things, I don't have the answer for you.
And what about if you feel like pooping and you can't go on stage, but you have to? Like,
Okay, hold on.
diarrhea, pooping, sort of.
This is a great question. Have you ever been asked this on 489 episodes?
Nope.
This 489?
Yes.
I'm the most disturbing person
No,
for
this
Rob ever. I'm not
great.
always allowed.
So the question was, go ahead, reiterate for the whole group.
If you have diarrhea and you have to go up on stage, what do you do?
Diapers.
You have not seen that coming.
I didn't see the diarrhea coming either. Yeah, go for it. No, I'm just kidding. I don't have an answer for that.
Okay.
Just, push it all out and get onto the stage.
So the question to all of you, how do you guys approach depression and mental and emotional pressure? Please give answers in 3 words, all of you. Not more than 3 words answers. Thanks.
Oh, Yana. So, Yana, now the microphone behind you to the next question. Yeah, okay.
I'm going to give longer than 3 words because it's one of the most profound things I've ever heard and helped me get out of depression. Jim Carrey said, depression is your avatar sick of playing a character it no longer wants to be.
Boom. Yep, again, yeah.
Depression is your avatar sick of playing a character it no longer wants to be.
For me, depression is the moment when the old patterns, the old way is not working, and this is the moment for me to make a new decision and to change what I'm doing, how I'm doing, and finding a new ways. So this is the moment to go to the new stage. So again, I've changed the perception of the depression for myself, and it's not bad. It's just the moment to stop and to see what is not working and to find another way how to make it work.
Brother Nick, anything for you on that one? Cool. Another question behind?
Is it okay if I ask all 3?
Look, we're running out.
It's really quick. It's like,
okay.
I want each of you to say like the best advice you've ever heard or the best advice you could give to everyone here.
Cool.
I have 2. One is a Bob Marley song, Redemption Song, which actually comes from an Marcus Garvey speech in the 1920s. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our own minds. And in regards to speaking and that regard, someone said to me at the Mind Valley Summit in January in Dubai, are you listening to be influenced or are you listening to be inspired? And I really want you to rephrase that into your head until you hear it.
Once more.
Are you listening to be influenced or are you listening to be inspired? Because that's the difference from your mind and your heart. So many we watch podcasts, YouTube, Speak Up Mondays, whatever, to seek an answer outside of ourselves rather than just hearing that one drop of wisdom that can truly change our course and direction.
You know, Carol knows. I'm not sure how many others know. So part of my background is, as I mentioned, kids' homes, and there was a big racist incident that happened, and I didn't perform as I thought I would. I felt embarrassed, humiliated, all of that. And on the 3rd day was a day where I really wanted revenge. I wanted physical revenge on the guy who started all of this. I never found him. 6 months earlier, I remember a lesson in history, and it was about the 100 Years' War, which was the one going on today in Palestine and Israel and so on. And a kid in the class asked, is it the same people fighting? It's 100 Years' War. It can't be the same people fighting. And I never got it, right? And then in that moment, on the 3rd day of going through humiliation and ending up with anger, I realized what it meant, which was, an opportunity, a door had opened where I made a choice, be part of the solution or part of the problem. And obviously I chose to be part of the solution, which was understanding that racism, it can be the same people fighting. It can't be the same people fighting. And then in that moment, on the 3rd day of going through humiliation and ending up with anger, I realized what it meant, which was, an opportunity, a door had opened where I made a choice, be part of the solution or part of the problem. And obviously I chose to be part of the solution, which was understanding that racism is education, which is passed down from one to the other, or not passed down. It's a story that's placed in one person's mind to the next, to the next, to the next. And that's what started this whole event that ended up in me being humiliated and all the rest of that. So then as I became this person who, with any event which I've done, as you can clearly see in front of you, it's people inspire people. Unity in diversity is a motto of Indonesia, right? And that's what I lived from the age of 12. Later on, when I met my dad again, in our family tree is Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King, and Malcolm X. They're all Jamaican Maroons. So it's interesting, that which I'm gonna goosebumps. I'm gonna get that quote again from you because it's one I was not aware of. And again, inspiration is caught, not taught. Again, that's a self-fulfilling prophecy in many ways. Inspiration can be taught too, I'm sure, but it's incredible. Early on in the show, and I said to all of us as we're sitting there, I have no clue where this is going, and I never do. But I'm comfortable with that, knowing that it goes exactly where it's supposed to. But that's another one that I'll take away from tonight. And maybe the question I'll ask you all as we kind of begin to wind down is there one thing that you can take from tonight that just hit you, right? In whichever way that occurred for you. Maybe it brought you to tears. Maybe it just kind of put your head back like, wow. Or was it like for you, I'm going to call you vegan lady, right? Vegan leather lady, right? Your share was beautiful, right? You're standing up for what you believe in. You say, you know what? As what Nick was saying earlier on, my time is now, right? I'm going to this conference with a summit. I'm going. And what I'm putting out there, what I'm calling in, is a business partner who can help me to take this global. Love it. Because again, it's through you sharing and through some of the questions, all the questions of people raising their hand, like that's what makes it for me. That's the people inspire people bit. And you never know which person's going to be that person, but it's going to happen because that's the container. Right. So again, just bringing this back to while we're here, one Creation Summit, right? It's 19 to 21 of September, and it's in the Sanur, the Meru in Sanur. Again, you're here by no coincidence, and if you choose to step in as you have, after this is done, there's going to be a QR code on the screen, which is a fantastic, probably never to be repeated offer for you to join that, right? So I really encourage you to actually do that. And remember, you've heard people speak now, and for whichever reason, you feel magnetized to certain people. So after the show is done, make sure you take the time to speak to them. And don't run away after this, right? 24 hours Tropical Nomad is open for us, so don't worry about it. It's not going to kick you out. But take the time, because as you said, one connection, one person, one thing can change everything, right? So now I think there was maybe another question out there somewhere. If there was, please raise your hand. If not, yes, over here. Sari, welcome. So we bring the microphone over here. Sari, a beautiful woman, Balinese woman who spent time in Europe, is a lawyer, a legal practice. Is called.
How have you been sat there the whole time?
Yes.
So one second, Sari. She's one of the speakers at I'm Creation Summit, and I haven't seen you. Can you come here? Why are you hiding?
I saw you, darling. Now, before you go, before you start, so Malakat Hukum is the name of her company.
Angel of Justice.
Legal practice, Angels of Justice. She is a phenomenal woman. So powerful. She won't tell you now, but ask her in person. There was a case
you can hear her.
There was a case which was recently heard, like a David and Goliath, but obviously the female version, and that's the kind of person. She is so determined and so doggedly determined that she will never give up, and that I love about your sister. So welcome. And as Kirsty says, she is one of the speakers as well at the summit. Over to you, darling.
Hello, everyone. Yes, I will be one of the speakers. I'm Balinese. My name is Nilusari. I'll bringing some of Balinese notions that I want to introduce the word. For example, your question is, how do I know what I want to do? Now, as Balinese, what we do is we check our elements. So my element is metal and water. So I'm good at finance, law. Water is that can go everywhere. So for us Balinese, we cannot go too far from our elements. That's what we believe of. Everyone, of course, is different, but this is our notion and belief. And also, Nick, thank you for your story about, your brother, and you find out. Yesterday, my daughter is sick. So I said to my mom, at 4 o'clock, I'm supposed to give a talk to a 12th grade at Bali Children Foundation, a foundation nearby, but my daughter is sick, and my mom said, can I should cancel? My mom said, no, you should keep your appointment. And then I babysit, and my mom, she's 80, she's like law professor, okay, yes, I need to make my commitment. Now, I have a question. What is your advice for abundance, for business advice or money? I am also a businesswoman, and my motto is business is about being bothered. If you bother to do something, then the possibility that open the door is 50%. But if you're not bothered about doing anything, then we cannot make anything. So my question to 4 of you, what is your abundance advice? Thank you.
You've got the microphone in your hand, Kirsty. No, you've always had the microphone in your hand. Over to you.
I am probably the most interesting person to answer this, because I am definitely the one with the least money in my bank account sat on this panel. But I receive abundance in so many ways. I don't attach it to money. I get given retreats. That's just one retreat. I've been given 5. I get given flights. I get given hotel experiences. I get given 3-star Michelin restaurants. I just get given things because I believe that I'm gonna get given things. And I know that's not a standard money answer, but when I was in business and I had my own company and I was focusing on money, there was always a blocker. But then when I started to learn about receivership and actually what it meant, then I really had to look in me and find what was missing and why I couldn't receive. And then from there, all of these opportunities started to open up.
Yeah, I would say in life, you don't get what you want, you get what your nervous system feels safe to receive. And so oftentimes, we coach speakers and experts, and I tell them, if you can't receive a compliment, you can't receive compensation. And so oftentimes they have a very hard time, or they have a block with receiving. And so I think there's work, or there's something to do around the receiving block and receiving more. And then from the nerdy business man brain, I would just say that if you want more abundance, solve rich people's problems. If you want to make money, solve problems. If you want to make even more money, solve rich people's problems, because they're way better to work with and they pay faster.
Love that, man.
Yeah, and I think it's very important, like Kirsty said, abundance, it's not amount of money on your account. If you change the perception of the abundance, you have 2 hands, 2 legs, you have the air to breathe, you have the sun, you have everything. You're an abundant human being, you're alive. So if you change the perception of the abundance, this is first. And second, you are now separating yourself from the abundance. Abundance is somewhere there. I need to do something to get there. But if you live every day with the gratitude, if you live every day in this feeling of the abundance, you will start to attract, as Nick said, if you doesn't feel safe, then you will attract all these things. If you feel abundant, you will attract more abundance into your life. And it will come in the connections, in the wealth, in the beautiful experiences, in the tickets, and all other things. You will start to attract more. So my recommendation would be just start to feel abundant now.
Great question, Sister Sari. Okay, so this happened very recently, and so I agree with what everyone is saying here, and I'm laughing because I know what I'm going to say, but I can't believe I'm going to say it. All right, 3 people notice what I'm about to say now. I guess a few more. So recently, I was going through this adventure with money, right? And I've been able to attract money, but I need to attract more money, right? Is what's present. Got a lot of bills, bigger bills, right? And yeah. So part of me feels like I've seen, done, and been here before. So why am I even trying? That's one aspect. The other aspect was you have a wife and kids, you're here in Bali, get your ass fucking moving, right? So going on the second aspect is a friend called Renee, who is like a coach, and we had a chat the other night at a dinner, and she has like high profile clients and stuff like that, and I said to her, look, Renee, what, I know there must be many different types of clients that you have, but when I asked this question, what comes up? And I said to her, what is one of the biggest blocks that a lot of your clients face, and they don't see it, but it's incredibly important when it comes to abundance, money. And she said, well, quite often what it is that it's the connection to a loved one, right? Maybe you feel a block with a loved one, and in a way, I'm simplifying it, but in a way it's like, if this is all the energy that you have within you, if energy is blocked over here, then energy doesn't really flow over here, and over here can be abundance and money. So, and I said, well, what kinds of people? She goes, oh, mothers, mothers. Grew up at the age of 6 months. My sister and I was 6 months old. I was put into a children's home, right? My mum and dad had a fatal attraction in London. They're from Jamaica. So basically, my mum came and visited me multiple times over the years. Now, I felt ashamed of my mum. I felt ashamed of how she looked. I felt ashamed of how she smelt. I felt ashamed that she had schizophrenia, right? I felt ashamed on a whole bunch of other things, right? And obviously now, doing some of the work, I realized that 1 finger pointing at you, 3 fingers pointing back at me. In other words, I'm criticizing the thing that I don't have. So when I'm saying that I think she's ugly and the way she looks is like this, I'm actually saying it about myself. So when Renee brought this up about mum, and I suddenly had a different view of the whole thing, and I was like, oh, fuck. You know, I was like, I realize now, my mum was one of the people, when she was alive, she passed away, who said, Rob, I want us to be a family again. We were never a family because we were fostered. 2 kids put in children's home, 1 was fostered. So for me, it was a non-starter. But then what I came to realize was, as I told you about what drives me every day, is about how do we connect people. Isn't it interesting that her dying wish was us to be a family again? And what I've always done of anything of value has always been uniting people. I call everyone brother and sister, not because I want to, because that's what comes up. So what I'm trying to say to you is that there's 2 points here. So one is the purpose that I feel I have is from my mum, right? Of her saying, I want us to be a family again. And even though at the time I pushed it down because I was ashamed of her, I realize now that that's actually what drives me. Number 1. Number 2, I realize that I fucking love my mum. So even though she's passed away, there's so many exercises that I've done that embrace, and I speak to her often saying, Mum, I love you. And I'm sorry for the state of mind that I was in, but I only know what I knew. I was doing the best I could with what I knew, which wasn't that much. So an interesting thing happened the day after discovering and learning this. Arrived one of the biggest checks in my bank account that I've ever had for consulting in 1 month. It's 15K. So again, there's probably more, like an onion layer to probably, unpeel. But when that question, sorry, that's what comes up. And I haven't told many people, but now I guess I have. So your connection to a loved one, if you haven't healed that relationship, whatever that is, find a way to heal it, even if they're passed away. Now, I'm not an expert at this, but I know that if I put my hand on my heart and I think of my mum, right, and I get a picture of her in my mind, I can also get a picture of, me giving her a hug, me kissing her, me embracing her, saying, "Hey, Mum, I love you, and I'm sorry for the things which I did, but I didn't know any different." So again, so to answer your question, it's about this flow of energy within your life, and these relationships which are blocked, which are stuck, which are that you've kind of pushed down and maybe tried to ignore. I think that part of the power is actually unleashing them. And whether you become best friends or not is not the point here, but it's acknowledging what it is and letting that power, letting the energy flow again. So that would be the answer to that great question. Yeah. Thank you for making me talk about something which I wasn't going to talk about. The invitation. Yeah. Woo. Man, Alena, what do you do? John, it's actually John's fault. I met John many years ago, and he's got that same beautiful smile that he's got now. God dang. And now we're here going to do this summit. So again, for the 5th time, I Am Creation Summit, 19th to 21st. We're going to have one last question for everybody, then we're going to wrap up. What does that mean? It means that on the screen, we're going to put a QR code after this that you can get a great deal. Probably never repeat it again. That's good. Also, there's the opportunity to speak to some of these wonderful guests that we have here, and also to connect with one another, right? So 24 hours tropical nomad, so there's no excuses, right? Guzman, we'll make sure you can move the lights, right? There you go, and the TV. So last question. Okay, the summit is done. It's over. Right? You're at the end.
Please don't ask this question now, because my mind will start to create more ideas. I have to finish first with this idea.
Which is the reason why I should ask.
Don't go there!
All right, Alena, we have a different question for you. For these two here, right? The summit is over.
Love stadium.
Right? What is it that you would love people to have gotten during that summit? What is it that you wish and you hope that people can walk away with from that summit? What would it be?
Close your eyes. Everyone close their eyes. I want you all to imagine the answer to that. I want you to feel in what feelings are coming up. How do you feel? Do you feel inspired? Do you feel more in your heart? Do you feel love, radiance, excitement, creativity? Because everyone that's involved in the summit, it's about you guys. It's about inspiring that one person to go all in on their business. Inspiring that one person to get out of their own way and start dating the person that they want to. It's about inspiring that person to make healthier choices in their life. To give them and give themselves the permission to dream big. To dream beyond the dream. To give permission to yourself to welcome the fear, to let it inspire you, To go and do the one thing that you've always wanted to do. To go and visit the place that you've never been. Take hold of the opportunity that you haven't yet grasped. It's not about us, guys. It's about you. It's about how you feel. It's about allowing yourself to feel. Allowing to understand that big, beautiful heart that you have inside of you. All of these dreams, wants, desires, they're all perfect and they're all available for you. If you can think of them, they exist for you. That's what the summit's about, guys. That's what these kinds of conversations are about. Anytime you read a book, you listen to a podcast, take it in for you, take it into your heart and let it ignite you. Let it ignite that. Maybe it's the tiniest little ember that you can just barely feel. But let it spark that creation. Because you never know where that may take you. Allow yourself to dream. Allow yourself to smile about your own dreams. Allow yourself to feel excited. Allow yourself to feel joy. Give yourself permission to come home. Come back to yourself. Remember who you are.
And in this moment of silence, think about one step that you are ready to do now. Not tomorrow, not in 1 month. One small step of courage that you can do now to step out from the cage, from the comfort zone, to create the dream life that you want. Just one step. It is enough to change so many things in your life.
And buy a ticket.
You know, there was me wondering, how can we come out of this one? Is it going to be a delicate sound of a crystal? No, and buy a ticket.
And buy a ticket.
And buy a ticket. Brother Nick, is there anything that you'd like to add to that? Yeah, no, I know. Me too.
Close-eyed process.
Me too, my brother. Well, look, let's do this, guys. Just want to thank everyone who came tonight for coming in person. Remember, connect with each other, connect with everyone here. We'll put a QR code on the screen pretty shortly. Thank you, Brother Guzman, for doing what you do. Solitary army right there. Please, a round of applause for our Brother Guzman. Well done, brother. Tropical Nomad. Woo. A round of applause for yourselves, please, for coming and taking the time to see us. And of course, a round of applause for our beautiful guests. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next week. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
And a round of applause for our librarian, Robert Ian Bonnick.